Thank Hashem that we're able to learn. It's good for learning. We should have the basic Mikdash immediately.
Amen. Amen.
And Shvir for Shleima for all those that need. Shamas ben Sarah and Levi ben Menacha Blaster. Avram Rafal ben Sarah. Hashan Shalal Levi ben Miriam Edel and Sarah Basnuni. Okay, we're going to start Mamish on the top line of Chav Chesamid base. Mishnah, brand new. Nashim b'mayed ma'anis. We're going to see what exactly ma'anis means. This is the Mishnah is going to explain how the eulogies would take place. So it says on the intermediate days of the holiday b'mayed, they would do only this type of eulogy. They wouldn't do, officially there wouldn't be any eulogy, right? They wouldn't put it down, but I guess for Talmud Chacham they would. What was the last Mishnah? In Menichin, last Mishnah was in, you don't put it in the street, not to have a hesped. Okay, but they were allowed to do this ma'anis. Avalei metapches, but they weren't allowed to do the metapches. Yeah, metapches we said was to clasp the hands together. Yeah. So Rabbi Yishmael Eimer hasmuches lamita metapches. Rabbi Yishmael says that those that were close to the bed, they could do this metapches, to clasp the hands. Rosh Chodashim b'Chanukah b'Purim on Rosh Chodesh, this is different than on Chol Hamoed, and on Chanukah and Purim minus metapches. That was more lenient. How do they translate metapches? Clap. But in either one, they weren't allowed to do the mekaininess. The Gemara is going to explain what these are. Ezu inoi. When we said that they're ma'anais on Chol Hamoed, what are they doing? So we say shekulan einas kachas. They all in unison. They all say some sort of lament. Oh yeah. If you've been to like different communities, the funerals. Yeah, someone was describing to me a funeral of a wealthy person that passed away, and the different rebbes came. So the eulogy went something like, "Fun Avram Avini Biz Rebel, says Nishkeven Azah," So, and everyone would they would cry together. Okay. But would be everyone saying the same, all the women would be saying the same cry. In Kina, how does Kina work? That's Sha'achas Medaberes V'kulan Einas Achara. That's one person says it, and then the other ones respond. Okay. Shenemar V'lamdeina B'nai Sechem Nehi V'isharu Sakina. Teach your daughter's nehi is to wail, and a woman, her friend Kina. I guess that shows me that one person says it, and the other one learns what to say, the response. But in the future, it says, Bila mavis lanetzach, that death will be swallowed up forever, and Hashem will wipe away tears from every face. Yeah. That's what it says. Macha Hashem. That's that's Shlomo's. It's a good song with that. Okay.
Ocean of Tears. The story goes with it too.
What is it?
There's a story that goes with it too.
Oh, that's right. The Varka or something. Yes, I think I remember that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. My Amaran. The Gemara asks, what do they say? What are the women saying? Amarav. Rav says, "Vailas la vaila chavila." Yeah, these are poetic terms. Woe was to the one that went, and woe was to the chavila. Chavila could mean a sack. This means like they were buried, just like wrapped up in and woe to the one that went to the grave, and woe to the sack. Some commentaries say chavila means a mashkin, a collateral.
It also means
Package. Yeah. Amarava. Rava says Nashi de Shachnetziv Amran Hachi. The women of Shachnetziv would say the following: Vai laazla, vai lachavila. Woe to those that went. Woe to the sack. Seems like it's exactly the same. Why do we need Rava to just repeat that? I don't know. He says in the name of these women. We're going to have a bunch of things from these women. What's the aleph over here? Sure. Okay. Vamar Rava Nashi the Shachnetziv Amran. Good Garma Mikacha. I looked up good. Good always means a wall. Apparently over here it means remove. Remove the bone from the teeth. Benamti Maya la antichi. For those that brought water to the kettle. Yeah. I guess they can't eat anymore. People that passed away. Or maybe it means when they're sick, that the garma mikacha, it would really be the other way. Remove the teeth from the bone.
It's like they're asking riddles.
Yeah. They would say this in it's not just a riddle, it's like this poetry that needs interpretation. And bring water to the kettle. Now, I guess it means that once they can't eat, because they don't have their teeth, so they don't get the go ahead. Oh, really? I didn't see that. Just one second. Where is it in your?
There's a lot of commentary.
Oh, here I see it. No, chatoich hamaychal min hashinayim, v'yagia chames hamayim banticha kunkinach hamaychal mipi achayla. There's by chames hamayim. No, I mean what he's saying is that when he can't eat, his temperature goes up, and it's like the water in a kettle. Yeah, at least that's his first shot. Okay.
Here it's completely different.
Oh, go ahead. What does it say there?
Cut bone from the tooth refers to the opening of the mouth where the gap between the jawbone and the upper teeth widen. Bring water to the kettle means that water leaves the person's mouth and returns to the vessel from which he had drunk. This describes the reverse of drinking. Instead of flowing down from the vessel into one's mouth, the water moves upward from the mouth back into the vessel. The point, according to Rashi, the point of this analogy is possibly that when a person dies, the natural course of events are reversed. The deceased surrenders his soul, which flies upward to the heavenly source.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, we got the words. We didn't get the pshat. Okay. No, the bone from the teeth. And according to that, it's as if there would be like something in the center between the two teeth. And then the water would go back towards the kettle in the opposite way that usually the kettle goes at. You pour the water out of the kettle. It's Amar Rava, Nashi the Shachnetziv Amran, the women of Shachnetziv said, Ataif means wrap, the kasu and cover, turi, cover the mountains. The Bar Rami, son of the great, Bar Ravrihu, the son of the great, and an important person. What does it have to do with wrapping mountains? Wrapping was a sign of mourning. So he's telling everyone should mourn. This is a great person that passed away. Amar Rava Nashi the Shachnetziv Amran. Rava then quotes again the women from Shachnetziv. He says, Shiol itztala de milsa lebar chayrin de shlimu zavde. Lend a woolen cloak to a barchain, a free person that's depleted his sustenance. I guess there was a wealthy person that lost his money and now needs to borrow to wear borrowed tachrichim. Yeah, that's like that Yiddish song. It was a very harsh Yiddish song. Amal gekent agvir azay vi kairach reich. At the end of the song meant something. In fremde tachrichim, like there, he had to borrow shrouds for. Anyway, so I guess what they're saying is that when a person passes away with all his wealth, he's still there with nothing, Ve'amar Rabba Nashid the Shachnitz of Amran Rahut v'nafal Amabra v'Yazufa Yosef. He runs and falls on the bridge, and then he borrows. I guess that means that his whole life he's running, and then at the end he needs to borrow for the funeral. Yeah, that's how he explains it. Okay, the next one is Va'amar Rava Nashi the Shachnitziv Amran. The women of Shachnitziv, they say the following: Achana Tagre, our brother, the merchant, Azavzage Mivdeku. He's examined on his Azavzage. Azavzage sounds like his home, could be, or it could mean his sale, what he sells. He's examined by what he sells. In other words, he gives a big speech. He does a sales pitch, but then the way you check out if he's really worthwhile is when you take the product and see if it works. So what does this mean? That at the end of, I guess it means at the end of a person's life, you see what he left. Amar Rava Nashi the Shachnitzev Amran Maisa Ki Maisa. Death, everyone's gonna die. Umar in Chibula, but the suffering, that's interest. How much suffering a person has, that's just added on to the actual
Suffering
death.
during their life, or
Yeah, during the life. Yeah, there's other interpretations that for this Chibula.
oh, it's the sickness until one passes.
Chibula, the Rabbeinu Gerson says that's done in the house. All right. Tanya was taught in a brayso. Reb Meir would say, I guess at the funeral, he would say, quotes the pasuk, and it's better to go to the house of the mourner than to go to the house of the wedding. And what should a person that's alive, what should he put to his heart? What should he take to heart? So all of this is matters of death. The yasped yispedune, those that eulogize will be eulogized. The yikaver, those that bury, yakbarune, will also be buried. In the yitain, those that I guess carry, or maybe it has to do with saying the eulogy. Yatinune will the people that assist in this funeral will also have people that will help them. The yidal yidlune, and those that raise their voice, and in the eulogy, yadlune, their voices will be raised for them as well. Vikadamri, some say it exactly the opposite. Some say those that don't raise, those will be raised. And that means that those people that are humble will be lifted up. Notice the word raise could be raised voice, or it could mean raise themselves. Diksiv, kitay varmalach alei heina. The pasuk over there is saying, in front of the king, you shouldn't a person shouldn't make himself great. You should wait until they tell you come up before you go up. It's better they tell you to come up than they have to tell you go down. Okay. Taner Rabbanan, started in a brayso, Kishemes Banav Shel Rabbi Yishmael. when the sons of Rabbi Shmuel passed away. Yeah, we have Rabbi Shmuel's son and daughter, I think. I don't know if this is the grandson, actually. This is probably the grandson. That the son and daughter of Rabbi Shmuel Kohen Gadol, that were in Rome, that we read about, that may be the grandfather. That may be the grandfather. Yeah. This is the Rabbi Shmuel, that's the friend of Rabbi Akiva, where I think Rabbi Yeshua saved one of the sons from Rome. I think he saw him in Rome and he brought him back. Yeah, okay. So his sons passed away, and the four elders went in to comfort him, to console him. Who are the four elders? Reb Tarfon, Reb Yesi Aglili, Reb Elazar ben Azariah, Rabbi Akiva. So, Amalem Reb Tarfon says, you should know, Shechachim Gadol, he's saying about Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Shmuel is a great sage. Ubaki ba'agadas. He's an expert in Agada. Let everyone finish his speech. No one should interrupt each other. Interesting that he had to say that. Amar Rabbi Akiva vani achron. Rabbi Akiva says, I'm going to go last. Right. Pasach Rabbi Shmuel v'amar. Rabbi Shmuel opens up. He starts to speak first. He's the mourner. He says, Rabbi Avinaisav, his sins are great. He's talking about himself. Takvu Avelav, his mourning is doubled. Hitriach Rabbaisav Pamrishenovich. He bothered his teachers to come the first time and then another time, I guess, to console him. He's saying that, so like apologizing that they have to come console him. Nana Reb Tarfon V'amar, Reb Tarfon responds. Says V'achechem kol beis Yisrael yifkas asreifa, the brothers, all the Jewish people will cry over what was burnt, which is referring to Nadav and Avihu that passed away. Alei dvarim kal v'chaimer. Look at this. It's a kal v'chaimer. Ma Nadav Avihu shlayas el mitzvah achas. It says that Nadav and Avihu, they did one mitzvah. The ksiv yakriva b'nei Aaron asadam elav. The sons of Aaron brought the blood. Okay, they did one mitzvah. Is it not a kal v'chaimer? Is it not a fortiori that sons of Rabbi Shmuel that are even greater should we not come and comfort Rabbi Shmuel? Nana Rabbi Yesi Aglili v'amar. Okay, now Rabbi Yesi Aglili's turn. He says v'saftu kol beis Yisrael v'kavaroisai. This is Yeravam ben Nevat's son gets sick, and his wife dresses up and runs to the Navi, I think Achia Shalani, and what's going to happen with him anyway? He says when you get back to the city, he's already have passed away. Yeah, she disguised herself, and then the Navi says, "Why is the wife of Yeravam disguised?" Anyway, so they eulogized him and they buried him. This is the son of Yeravam that was sick and passed away. The matters of kal v'chaimer. Ma Avia ben Yeravam shlayasel davar echad toiv. Avia, the son of Yeravam that did one good thing. The ksiv beyan nimtza bei davar toiv. It says that they found in him something good. Kach banav shel Rabbi Shmuel achas kama v'kama. The sons of Rabbi Shmuel is not a kal v'chaimer that we should cry and come to console and mourn. My davar tov. What was the good thing that Avia, the son of Yeravam ben Nevat, did? Rab Zera v'Rab Chinana bar Papa. It's a machlaikas. Chad amar shabitul mishmarte v'alo l'regel. Yeah, Yeravam ben Nevat did not want the people to visit Yerushalayim because he was not a king from the house of David. And if they would go to Yerushalayim, they would notice that the kings from the house of David were allowed to sit in the Azara. And everyone would realize that that's a real king. Yeravam ben Nevat is a fake king. So he said no one can go to Yerushalayim. He said, "Oh, you want to serve Hashem? You want to serve? I'll make you places to serve over here." And he set up idols in 2 places. So he set up guards that no one should travel. So one of the guards was his son. His son left his post and he went to be a Regel. He himself went. Some say that he was even more. He nullified all the guards. He took away the guards that his father put on the roads. That's a good thing that he had. So he had that one good thing. Everyone mourned him. So Kal v'chomer for the sons of Rabbi Shmuel. It's not telling us what they did. Nana Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Now Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah's turn to speak. Amar B'Shalom Thomas says the prophet saying that he'll die in peace. I think they would burn the possessions of the king. And so it says that he's saying to Tzidkiyahu that he'll die in peace, and in the burnings of his father, the earlier kings, that's where his things will be burnt. So it's V'lei Dvarim Kal v'chomer. Look at this. Ma Tzidkiyahu melech Yehuda shelo yasel mitzvah achas. Tzidkiyahu, the king of Yehuda, only did one mitzvah shel Yirmiyahu min hatit, that he took Yirmiyahu out of the mud. Kach banav shel Rabbi Shmuel alachas kama v'kama alachas kama v'kama. Do you have a pencil over there? I made a mistake. So Rabbi Shmuel, the sons of Rabbi Shmuel on Kal v'chomer. Thank you. Tell me. Tzidkiyahu Tzadik Gomer Haya. Well, look, with all of them, Nadav and Avihu, it says b'makudashai. What's the pasuk? B'krov hayakadesh. I mean, they were clearly much greater than the way the eulogy is going, but yeah, okay. Okay. Nana Rabbi Kiva v'amar b'yaymahu yigdal hamisped b'Yerushalayim k'misped hadrimayin b'bikas Megiddo. I don't know if you remember, we had this Gemara in the beginning of Megillah. It says, on that day there will be a eulogy in Yerushalayim. It will be like the eulogy of Hadrimain in the valley of Megiddo. Now, no one knows what this means. V'amar Rabbi Yosef says, "Umali tergume the haikra lo yavi yadana ma'ika amar." Not for the Targum. Beginning of Megillah, we spoke about Targum. If not for the Targum, we wouldn't know what this verse meant. And Rabbi Yosef, if you remember, Rabbi Yosef was blind, so he memorizes, instead of the Torah text, he memorizes the Targum, because he's not supposed to learn the text by heart. So Rabbi Yosef is the expert in the Targum. It says, if not for the Targum of this pasuk, we wouldn't know what it meant. On that time, Yiske Misped Yerushalayim, the eulogy in Yerushalayim will be so great. K'misped da'achav ben Amri, the katal yasei Adriman ben Tavriman. It will be like the eulogy of Achav, the king Achav ben Amri, that was killed by Hadrimain, by Tavrimain. We didn't know that. I don't remember. What was the story how did Achav die? Did he die in battle? Was that the straight? Right. They propped him up. They had him. K'misped Yeshio ben Amain, the katal yasei pare chagira bebikas Megiddo. Yeah, Yeshio went to battle against pare chagira, pare nechei, that part of the lame, and it was in the valley of Megiddo. Yeah. It was a big battle over there, and Yeshua was killed. But the Gemara told us before that Yeshua didn't even need to go. The battle was not against him. It was against someone else. They were just passing through, and he went out, which wasn't necessary. But he was killed. The matter is Kal v'chemer ma Achav Melech Yisrael shleasel davar toiv davar echad toiv. Achav only did one good thing. The ksiv Melech Yamayim Merkava Neichacharam, that the king, he stood up in the chariot that he was in after he was wounded. He didn't want everyone to lose hope, so he could have just said, "Take me out, and maybe I'll survive somehow." He didn't do that. He held himself up so that the people should continue fighting. So, if that's what happens for Achav, was not a good king, right? Was a king for a long time now, I think 40 years maybe or something. But so Kal v'chemer, the sons of Rabbi Shmuel that are tzaddikim. Amalei Rava,
The only thing is that his burial was not it says that the dogs licked his blood, right? Just like with so like it seems like it was a terrible burial. I don't know where how they derived that it was a good one. The dogs licked up the king's blood and the harlots bathed in it, like the word of Hashem that he had spoken.
Wow. Levi has a good shot. Daniel, Levi has a good shot. He says that's why Reb Tarfon said, "Don't interrupt each other."
You got the message.
No. That's just for the humor. Okay. Yeah, I don't know the answer. Maybe what happened in that battle? Did they lose the battle, or did they win the battle?
I mean, I guess you could say that he was buried, and that the blood that from the battle was the blood that was like.
No, I think it was clear that it was, because didn't the prophet tell him something about that? What was going to happen? Tell me. I'm sorry. I don't know. Okay.
Is the covenant part when they prop up the corpse in order to not lose confidence? Is this the only time that it's not when that happens?
I don't know. Danielle, what do you think? Does this happen often, that they would prop up a person to make sure so that people don't lose hope?
In Tombstone, they always had all the reference to corpses. In the Old West, they always had undertaker had all the corpses standing up and the corpses were country. So
Spanish literature, there's the LC. They put his body in armor, and just the enemy, when they see him,
Oh wow.
they win. But they might be taken from this.
Wow. Okay. Amalei Rava, the Rabba Bar Mari. Tzidkio b'Shalom Thomas. By Tzidkio, it says b'Shalom Thomas. That's the pasuk that we quoted. He'll die in peace. However, Uksiv es einei Tzidkio iver, that he blinded the eyes of Nebuchadnezzar, right? And blinded the eyes of Tzidkio. And then it says he dies in peace. It says they blinded. That doesn't sound right. Amalei Hachem Rabbi Yochanan explains this. Shemes Nebuchadnezzar b'yamav. What it meant that he dies in peace is that he was able to see that the enemy was died before him. He was able to see that the wicked were punished. That's what it meant that he died in peace. He couldn't see, but he knew. Okay. V'amar Rava l'Rabba Bar Mari ksive b'Yoshio. He has a question. It says, I will gather you to your fathers and be gathered into the grave in peace. That I think Yoshio was not dressed as a king or something. Is that what happened? And or maybe not. the archers pierced. They hit Yoshio. That they hit him so many times that it was like a sieve. Now, who was it that was hit by a stray arrow? Was that Achav?
Yeah, that was
That was Achav. Yeah. Okay. But by Yoshio, he was made like a sieve, and then it says that he's going to be gathered in peace to the grave. What it meant that he died in peace was that when he passed away, the Beis Hamikdash was still standing. That's what it meant. He died in peace. He knew what was going to happen. That's why he was the one that hid the Aron and the other things. Amr Rabbi Yechanan. The comforters are not supposed to say anything until the Avel begins. Eiv opens his mouth, and then afterwards says, Eliphaz Hatimani responds, one of the friends. How do we know that the Avel sits at the head of the table? What does this say? It says, I've chosen their way. I sit at the head like a king in front of his army as a mourner amongst the comforters. Now the Gemara asks, mashma. You see, the way that was set up is saying that he's sitting at a head like a general or like a king, like a mourner in front of the comforters. The problem is that it says like a mourner comforts. Or like kasher avelim. So it sounds like that the comforter sits at the head. So Amar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Yinachim ksiv. No, it's not Yinachim that will comfort others. Yinachim will be comforted. Yeah, that vowel changes what's happening. As the mourner will be comforted with the kamatz Yinachim, and then that means that the mourner sits at the head. That's why we see that the mourner sits at the head of the table. Mar Zutra Amar Mehacha. Mar Zutra says, Visar Marzach Seruchim. Marzach is a difficult word. Marzach is, we're going to translate as an Avel. Nasesar L'Seruchim. The Avel becomes a leader to those that are stretched out. Maybe that means spread out. Okay. Amar Rab Chama bar Chanina. Rab Chama bar Chanina switches the subject. Says Minayin l'chasan shemesa b'reish. How do you know the chasan sits at the head? Okay, we just switched over here. Yeah, some people would make some jokes about this. So let's leave it alone. Shenemar kechasan yichain pe'er, like a chasan is crowned with pe'er. Ma kayin b'reish af chasan b'reish. Just like the kayin goes first, so too the chasan goes first. He sits at the head. Kayin gufim minalan. How do you know the kayin goes first? Well, the Tana de Rabbi Shmuel was taught in the Yeshiva Rabbi Shmuel b'kidashta. You sanctify him. That means the chol davar shebekdusha, for everything that's holy. Leftayach rishon. That means he reads the Torah first. Levarich rishon. He says birchas hamazon. He leads the benching. V'litul maniyafa rishon. He takes the first portion. Amar Rabbi Chanina. Rabbi Chanina says kashi yitzias neshama min haguf. It's hard for the soul to leave the body. There's a lot of complicated interpretations here, but simple one would be like a bird that's stuck in the throat, that it's hard to swallow it. That would be, maybe means hard to get out. Rabbi Yechanan Amar Kapatiri B'ti Veshet, like a mushroom that's stuck in the throat. That's where it's hard for the neshama to leave. The other interpretations here, that tzipayre is really a type of knot that's in a rope, and veshet doesn't mean the esophagus. Veshet means something that has to do with the mast, and they would have to pull they would tie a knot to hold the sails on, and or something, and then that bulge would make it that it shouldn't come. So to try to pull that through, and that was That was the difficulty of the soul leaving the body. Okay. The last piece of Gemara, Yosef, you'll be here tonight. You'll teach that. Okay, so let's leave it over here.
Bezat Hashem, 7:30, right?
7:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and please send a link. I'm gonna try to
Okay.
get on.
Okay.
Okay, thank
What
you.
time?
Well,
What time is
Ramesha,
Mincha
we'll use
Marav?
the same link, but I'll post it on the thing.
Okay, thanks.
Make it easier.
What time is Mincha Marav at Bet Menachem?
Do you know?
You mean Hamadi, what time, Rabbi?
It's in the Zman.
5:55, 6,
Yeah, about 5:55 is Ma'ariv. Is Mincha. And yeah.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay.
Have a great day.
Good day.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, it's yesterday. We have to get back.
And Yitzhak's the man.
I thought you take the day off of work on that same day.
Sure, yeah, maybe we'll do that.
Okay.
It's too late. We're already
Let's lock it up, everyone. Good day.
No, run down.
Can't change it.
Is it up here?
Chagiga.
You left your pen over there, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
Where is that?
Call Moed.
I'm gonna drink the beer. Is that okay?
Good. Budweiser. Show your Budweiser.
What's the purpose of the Budweiser with the Orlando saying?
Call Moed. So what are you doing? Call Moed. I don't know.
You go to Orlando.
Just sign it.
Here.
Is there a
See?
Moed?
Sign
Enjoy
it,
every
ask
moment.
questions later.
Oh my God, he's signing on the bottom. So Avram Nasarot. Oh, if you had to define Avram Nasarot, it's just that one.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. He had a different order. Yeah.
That's after Chagiga.
What's happening? Reb Naftali, you gonna make it?
I hope to.
Okay.
I was wondering if the last line, Kitsipori, was like the statement, it's like a bone in your throat, you can't swallow it and you can't spit it out.
Right.
The difficulty the neshama has at that point, leaving.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Whatever.
could be the pshat. That could be the simple pshat.
Okay, thank you. Hope to see you tonight.
I
Okay.
hope to. You will see us tonight.
7:30.
Yeah. Hi, Ta. How are you?
Thank you, Levi. Yeah, very good.
Hatzlacha Rabba.
So,
Esti's phone is broken. I have to fix it today. It's she bought a new one, but it's complicated to set it up. But I'm sorry. So if you're trying to reach her, she's
No, I know that. You're,
Where you going? Dragging. It's 6 o'clock. Give us 6:30. Oh, 15 minutes to do what I do. Just hit the highlights.
okay.
Avrami's daughter was over here.
Avrami's daughter. Who's Avrami? Who? Oh, Avrami Citron. Oh. Uh-huh.
She told us that Estes phone is broken.
Uh-huh. Okay, nice. Okay.
So there. I mean, you have a parking pass? Did that thing?
Okay, fine. Did you get, I sent you my my taxes.
You emailed it?
Yeah, I emailed it.
No, I didn't look at my email.
One at Yahoo, right? Is that the email you use?
What?
The Yahoo
Yes.
email? Now, yeah, I attached a one of the attachments has a lot of documents in it. You know, just like I just attached it because I scanned it and I scanned it all into one file. The other one, the other attachment, I sent another email because apparently, I don't know what happened. Toronto sent me this thing, the Masifta, thank you for your donation. And I think they put in all my tuition money as a donation.
Yes.
And it's like a tax thing. Then they said, oh, cancel the other one. They sent me another, anyway, I sent you, I don't know exactly. I don't know. Okay. Is that is that something I take off tuition? Do I take that off income?
If it's a donation, you can take it off the income.
But it's a tuition.
Also, if you pay tuition, you get a credit. It's a complicated formula, but
Okay. Okay, because Este's tuition was the highest. Este was must have been like close to 18,000 or something.
really?
Yeah, 17 maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, I'll tell you what now.
Okay, whatever. You check and see what. Okay. Shikaya. Okay. Okay. Have a good day. Thank you. Okay.